Speaking of these 20-something Arab states in the area, are you familiar with the name Douglas Murray?
I've heard the name, yeah. I think I've seen it on YouTube or somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, so there was a recent clip earlier this week, and I think this will come out Sunday, so it'll be topical,
Okay.
that went viral in which he was talking with an Al Jazeera journalist, and he pointed out that Gaza is not only bordered by Israel, but by Egypt. And
Yeah.
this is something that I never hear mentioned in the media really ever. And I'm wondering, so I recently had Norman Finkelstein on the show and we spoke, and he at length characterized Gaza as a concentration camp and the Israelis as Nazis sort of guarding the concentration camp. And I am wondering how you think that, well, one, just whether or not this is a reasonable analogy, but how the fact that Gaza is also bordered by Egypt, I mean, should affect the way that we view Gaza and the situation.
Look, the Gaza, ruled by the Hamas officially since 2007, has been under a type of siege by Israel, at least the three sides, the Mediterranean side in the west, in the north along the territory itself, and in the east, has been under siege by Israel because Gaza was a staging post under the Hamas for rocketing attacks against Israel's villages and even towns over those 15 years. In fact, the rocketing began even before 2007, from when the Hamas took over the place. But it was under siege because Israel said we can't allow free passage from Gaza into Israel because it will involve terrorists crossing the border and killing Israelis, as happened, in fact, on October 7th. And we can't allow it to get all the materials they need, metals and gunpowder and God knows what, because they'll use it to make rockets to attack Israel. So there was a siege there. And as you pointed out, it's also bordered Gaza on the south by Egypt, the Egyptian border. And the Egyptians themselves also maintained a strict control of the border, not allowing people from Gaza to move into Egypt or from Egypt into Gaza. And the same applies to various material. The Egyptians may be imposed a siege on Gaza from their side of the border for no reason other than simply not wanting Palestinians to infiltrate into Egypt, not because Palestinians were busy rocketing Egypt, but the Israelis had a very good reason to keep the place under control. While keeping under control, they also supplied Gaza with water, with electricity and fuel and so on. In other words, it was sort of a very strange type of siege in which Israel both keeps people from entering and leaving the place, but at the same time supplies it with the means with which it can actually exist and live. And I think the people in Gaza didn't have that bad a life inside Gaza itself during these years of siege, even though they complain, as Palestinians always complain, because they're always busy pushing their grievances rather than some of the good things which actually happened to them as well. That was a situation in Gaza, which, as you say, was controlled along its borders by both Israel and Egypt. And that was a situation. The comparison by people like Finkelstein to a Nazi concentration camp is, of course, absurd and ludicrous.